Hello, you guys. Welcome. It's me, Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Today we are talking about everything Cancer. If you like a Cancer, if you are a Cancer, if you want to know how is the energy for the collective during Cancer season, we have it all here. Before we get started in this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, because this helps me out. I'm doing this for free. I've done a lot of research on cancers, everything Cancer, and I'm a Cancer. First of all, I have a podcast, so that would be great. Click the link down below for my podcast, the current energy with astrology and tarot, current events. And I'm a little more free in what I say because it's on a different platform. If you are looking at this video recently, check out my other videos. Sign up for my newsletter because I have a newsletter. It gives out the current vibe in the sky with astrology. So sign up for that. That is completely free. Also, if you're into tarot, because I'm a tarot reader, I have a free PDF for you to learn how to do tarot if you want to learn how to do tarot. All right, so let's get into it. Cancer season starts June 21st to July 21st or 22nd or 20th. I know it varies. That doesn't matter because it's all about the decadence and the degrees. We'll get into that. And sometimes when you have someone who is born June 22nd, they're on a cusp, but we break down the decadence of those people. And at the end of Cancer season, entering Leo, we break down those as well. The element of Cancer is water. Along with Pisces and Scorpios, they are all water signs. And water is the ruler of emotions and intuition, sensitivity. Water signs tend to be empathetic, and they're more soft and more gentle, and they flow with life. They're also feminine energy. Feminine energy is earth signs and water signs, and they are more introspective and are more inward energy. Cancer is also feminine. It is considered a negative sign, which is feminine, which is not negative in what we think, and it is night energy. So the instincts and feelings are honored above logic and thought, and they're mostly introverted. The planet, the ruler of Cancer season of a Cancer, is the moon, and the moon represents our subconscious and the dream world, and is the yin to the sun, which is the yang. There's a cool nature with the moon, just like the sun is representing heat. The moon sometimes represents cool, and then you have the moon that represents change ability, and you are more likely to blow hot and cold with moon because it's just back and forth. The moon governs, again, our emotions and our intuition behavior, our intuitive behavior. Now, the polarized opposite sign of Cancer is Capricorn. I just want to say that I am a Cancer sun, so there will be a lot of self-reflections and a lot of examples for myself given in this video. Anyway, but the opposite sign, which is the polarized sign, is Capricorn, and Capricorn is an earth sign, and it symbolizes respect and dignity and status. Capricorns have a backbone, and they gravitate naturally towards positive rank. They are more caring about their reputation and their goals, and they take action in the role out in the world. Capricorns are not really emotional, and it's rare for a Capricorn to feel fear. They don't use the need to feel comfortable to succeed in life, okay? So Cancer is the opposite, right? They are about their home and family. Cancer seek close personal relationships and are happier surrounded by familiarity and things that they are comfortable with and love. Capricorn is about their reputation and public standing, and Capricorns are concerned with their image they project, and they search for power and fulfillment outside in the world. And like I said earlier, Cancer is feminine energy. So it's all about inward energy, home, and familiarity. Also, Cancers love being in love, right? And Capricorns can learn to be in love because they're fulfilling their goals and reputation. And I'm not saying this for all Capricorns. I'm telling you what Capricorn represents. Doesn't mean that you're a Capricorn and this is how you feel. So if you're triggered by that, that is your own problem. The quality, which is there is mutable, there is fixed, and Cancer is cardinal. And cardinal signs are the Aries, Libra, Capricorns is cardinal, and Cancer. And all the cardinal signs mark the change of the season, the beginning of a new season. So you always get a solstice. Cancer is going to have summer solstice. And all the four cardinals are like the life leaders because they are starting and leading the season. Now, the zodiac symbol for Cancer is the crab, in which a crab carries its home on its back and has a tendency to withdraw and hide when it is having an encounter or a scary situation. The crab has a tough outer shell, but it has a soft underbelly. And the same can be said for a Cancer archetype. They move sideways so they don't really deal with issues head on, and they go around, but they do get to their end goal. A crab is both sea and land dweller, which can be very interesting for Cancers because they're ruled by the moon, and you have these changes, this moodiness. Now, the glyph, which is the 69, that a lot of people who don't know astrology associate that with a sex position. But 69 is two pincers of a crab, and it's in its protective mode. It's also could be a picture of human breast because Cancer, their body part ruler is the breast, and it's symbolic of two circles of the sun connecting to two crescent moons. The moons represent Cancer, and they store memory and possessions. The circle tied to the moon represents force and energy, express true emotions and imagination. It could also be two individuals floating along the same vessel, like a couple surviving a flood. So that's what you have with the symbol. Now, the tarot card that represents Cancer is the Chariot. At first glance, Cancer, you look at the Chariot and like, how does this connect? I don't see it. However, if you look again, you see that the Chariot, it does go places because a Cancer is a cardinal sign. It is a leader. At the same time, it's still connected to its home. It never really leaves their home or their family for long. Both Cancer and the Chariot are very intuitive and protective. In a lot of the tarot cards too, you see that the Chariot is about movement, yet it doesn't have wheels. So that's interesting. Also, when we get more into it, Luna, one of the goddesses for the moon, was on a chariot. There's a cardinal sign. It's about getting it started, and that's what you get with the Chariot. And the Chariot has a purpose, like some warriors, to protect and to defend their communities. Some travel for the sake of business or trade in order to make their life better for their family, and you get that with Cancer energy. Keywords for Chariot is success, willpower, ambition, determination, control, self-discipline, focus, and action. Now, if it's in reverse, the keywords will be self-discipline, opposition, forcefulness, no direction, no control, powerless, aggression, and obstacles. The moon is the ruling planet of the fourth house in your astrology chart. And if you're more deeper into astrology, let me explain what the fourth house represents. It represents your personal life, your mother, your ancestry, your predecessors, your home, family, your past, where you come from, the womb to the tomb, where you are from, where you are born, who raised you, what you spent your formative years with or doing, who are your people, the motivation behind that persona, self-protection, conclusions, parents, conditioning, blood ties, pedigree, psychological base, private life, matters of your houses and real estate. Mothers, did I say mothers already? Influences, self-recovery, domestic setting, collecting, household items, property, the drama of life, nurturing, emotional life, habits in childhood memories, the female, very feminine energy, the female population, patriotism, beginning and end cycles. Now, the houses also represent different ages, and Cancer completes the development of the individual as an individual themselves, because Gemini, you're in school and now you are an individual and you should be starting to be on your own because you're starting to be a mom, and that starts with the ages of 21 to 28 of maturity. During this period, most women traditionally marry and get pregnant. So that's why it also represents that age. Now, the body part that Cancer energy is ruling is the stomach, the chest, digestion, fluids, the womb, ovaries, secretion, and female breasts. Now, anytime we have Cancer season, if you have any health problems with that, it's because Cancer season, the sun is putting light into that. Cancers love to eat and have to fight weight gain later in years. They are also subject to digestive ailments caused by tension and emotional stress. The day that is ruling Cancer is Monday, because the moon rules Monday. And on Mondays, you tend to be moody. You're like, oh, why are we starting a week? So you can either be very optimistic with the starting because you are cardinal energy, so you're getting things started, or you could be down with the starting, okay? The moon is one of the planets that ebbs and flows more than any other. This may be why starting something on a Monday may likely lead to change of direction. And then here we have the Chariot coming back representing that Monday. If you want something to be permanent, it's best not to initiate it on a Monday. The exception, of course, is domestic undertakings. So if you want to do something for your home life, get it started, then go ahead and do it on a Monday. The lucky numbers for Cancer is 3 and 7. The gemstone representing Cancer is pearl, silver, moonstone, white quartz, and rose quartz. The pearl enhances women's physical appearance and makes us look more beautiful. It is a symbolism portrayed by the moon, changes bad fortune into good and discord into harmony. Very positive. It also brings support from influential people. The pearl also represents depth and awareness, which also aligns with the moon's values. When I first married my husband, I wanted a pearl necklace so bad, and that's probably because I am a Cancer. I should have wore the pearl necklace today, actually. The moonstone is also to relieve stress and heighten perception. Now, the metal is metal and silver, and it's all about cleansing nature. It helps release stress and encourage you to explore the beauty of nature, like the moon attached with sensuality, femininity, and connectivity. Silver also exemplifies the properties of minerals and gemstones attached to it, therefore making it effect more potent. So if you put something next to silver, it's going to make that gemstone more potent. You learned it here. Okay. So Cancer locations. And you're like, why are you telling me about Cancer locations? Do Cancers go there? Try it. See if you like it. I use this to really look at the news for the collective. Whenever it's Cancer season or Cancer energy, these cities seem to shine bright and have some energy that's affecting them. Southern California, West Africa, Canada, Chicago, Venice, Italy, Amsterdam, New York, Scotland, Holland, New Zealand, Tokyo, Cadiz, Istanbul, Wellington, Scotland, and the Netherlands, okay? The flowers that, if you want to put in your altar for Cancer season, are larkspur, water lilies, a white rose, any kind of white flower in general, and acanthus. Herbs and spices that will probably help you during Cancer season, especially with the things that I discussed earlier. It could probably help with digestive energy is eucalyptus, milkweed, lemon. I know lemon leaves are really good to take a bath to cleanse that womanly area. Verbena, sage, and tarragon. If I pronounce them wrong, of course, I will put them up. The essential oil is chamomile. The incense is jasmine and lily. Trees is trees rich in sap. Also, I hear willow tree is representative of Cancer, and that's interesting. I have a willow tree on my back. A lot of my tattoos are very Cancer related without even knowing, okay? Anyway, special colors for Cancer is sea green and silver, the shimmering colors of the water and the moon. And the animals that are ruled by Cancer are any animals with shells coverings, dogs and hedgehogs. The key word for Cancer is I feel. Cancers are all about their emotion and intuition. The archetype for Cancer is the poet, the mother, the romantic. The Cancer archetype is soft and cuddly, and I love to cuddle. I mean, don't get me started. I'm like, let's cuddle. The Cancer stereotype is the smothering mother, or like a baby that's always crying, like a crybaby, which really annoys me because, you know, they make it seem like Cancer cries over everything. That's annoying. Okay. Task in life: forming emotional bonds and expressing deep feelings. Exaltation. Exaltation means that Cancer energy works good with these planets. It's Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter is favored in Cancer, not so much because of its emotional quality, but because it shares with Cancer a protective feeling and the desire to support those who are still willing to grow. Neptune is also selfless, and it's all about dreams and romance, which is very Cancer energy. Now, the detriment of Cancer, which is the ruler planet of Capricorn, it is Saturn. And Cancer is kind of difficult. The energy Cancer is difficult with this planet because it creates barriers in the areas of family and mom and home and relationships, because you're dealing with emotions and there are obstacles. One should not have to feel like they have to perform to be on stage with their family, or they have to be judged to be with a loved one. And you get that energy with Saturn and Cancer. Now, the fall of Cancer is Mars, and Mars doesn't like Cancer energy because there's a strong ego when dealing with Mars, and Mars often has difficulty in Cancer areas of experiences such as relationships and home and mom and family, because it's not free of the ego there. You know, it's all about being close, and the ego can't really dwell with that energy. Cancer is best with the moon, of course, because that's its ruler. Venus, Neptune, and Pluto. Mercury and Uranus have a harder time with the water sign of Cancer, which is personal and subjective and interferes with a clear mental observation and detached judgment of air. They're both about air, and they're like, why are we so emotional? So you get that energy. So let's talk about the ruling planet, the moon. And trust me, after this, we're going to get more personal into a Cancer man or a Cancer woman. We'll get into that later. But right now, I want to do it for the collective and break it down for the individual. So the moon is the divine dreamer, and the moon is exalted again in Taurus and its fall in Scorpio. So whenever there is like a moon in Scorpio, very emotional. Very emotional, or like a full moon in Scorpio. Wow. Okay. So the moon is the most mutable of all astrology planets because there's 8 moon phases, and it's 29.5 days of completing the whole zodiac signs, of going through the whole zodiac signs. With the moon comes lunar phases and lunar nodes as well. I will have to do a whole separate video on the lunar nodes, and I want to do a whole separate video on the moon and its phases. So get ready for that, because I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I am going to do it. The moon moves fast, in a fast pace. In a few hours, you can drastically change just like your moon sign, okay, when giving birth, and that affects your whole chart. The changes in tides and oceans are caused by the moon gravitational pull, especially during a full and new moon. Cancer is the most changeable in all zodiacs because your emotions are flowing and very moody. One minute you could be calm, and the next minute you are anxious and mad. Okay. The moon and the sun both thrive in harmony. So the moon is the female, the sun is the male. The moon is the mom, the sun is the father. The moon is feminine, the sun is masculine. Because of its feminine energy, it governs our inner child and teaches us to feel safe and more secure in life. Now, your moon in a horoscope, or when you're reading your chart, is the second most important position after the sun. The moon reflects your soul. It represents your inner world, including our emotional nature. The moon represents the side of you that reacts before you even have time to think. Represents your inner nature, instincts, your emotions, your needs, your needs in relationships and feelings. The moon is receptive. If I can't say that enough, it's all internal and reflective, giving out no light, right, for its own. It's all very internal. The moon rules our menstrual cycles too, and our sleep cycles. And it is commonly held belief that we sleep less during a full moon. Now, because of this 29.5 day loop, women used to, back in the day, track their menstrual cycle with the moon. And also too, when you are pregnant, they follow the lunar calendar. All that is not by accident. A universal symbol for mother, children, and fertility, the moon, and the color white of the moon affects Cancer energy too. The moon signifies our unconscious, our thoughts, and our beliefs, and the moon tries to stay neutral. Mercury starts to dominate the moon whenever it's dealing with the moon. So if it's ever conjunct with the moon, it just takes over the moon's energy. Poor little moon. The moon rules over our lymphatic system, bodily fluids, the pancreas, and the sympathetic nervous system, controlling reflexes and responses to emotional stimuli. Now, the tarot card for the moon is the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is, because we're dealing with the moon, it's the keeper of secrets and the guardian of dreams. When she takes the form of the High Priestess, the moon becomes a close confidant that you can trust, and it helps us understand the cycles of life and measure our responses to the ebb and flow of time. The High Priestess is the embodiment of the moon, reflection, and intuition. She represents the goddess in the process, that it's no accident. The upright, meaning if you have the High Priestess in a tarot reading, is intuition, sacred knowledge, divine feminine, the subconscious mind, mystery, spirituality, higher power, and inner voice. Now, if it's in reverse, the High Priestess can mean secrets, disconnection from intuition, repressed intuition, withdrawal, silence, hidden motives, superficiality, confusion, lack of harmony with cognitive thought. Now, there's different moon deities, and like I said earlier, there's a Luna, who is the sister of Sol, the sun god, and is deemed a female counterpart, and she often rides the chariots across the skies. And then there's Selene, the Titan goddess, one of the most important deities of ancient Greece. There was Thoth, who was also a moon deity, and Thoth is essentially associated with Iris. The protopics of Ra, the sun god, was fascinated by Thoth's wisdom and appointing him as the personal advisor. Other moon deities is Sin, Sandra, and Changi, or Change. I'm not sure if I'm saying the name right. So I'm just going to throw out a list of keywords that represent Cancer. Again, remember I said willow tree, asthma, gray, silver, white, bath, water, swimming boats, beaches, river, toilets, plumbing, fungus, secretion of the body, breast, chest, uterus, digestive organs, reproductive system, liver, ribs, uterus, elbows, defective eyesight, sheep, pumpkins, emotions, grass, guardianship, motherhood, pregnancy, womb, female, caretaker, domestic life, cleaning, nourishment, nurses, immunity, family, childhood home, hotels, rooms, real estate, shelter, housewives, nutrition, beverages, vegetables, groceries, blue, green, introvert, potential, irony, control, trust, regret, calculation, self-protection, mood, emotion, ceremony, sympathy, matriarchy, patriotism, attachment, romance, conversation, self-confidence, intuition, commitment, memory, nostalgia, tone, feeling concern, withdrawal, sorrow, sarcasm, chaos, breast, womanhood, motherhood, retreat, home, introspective, tenderness, becoming, affectionate, fluidity, repressed memories, emotional people, immortality, imagination, enlightenment, childlike, individual. There you go. All right. So those are the keywords for Cancer. So let's talk about you personally, if you're here for someone as an individual for Cancer. And the reason why I gave the keywords is because whenever there is a Mars in Cancer, look out for any of that energy. Venus in Cancer, moon in Cancer. Those are the the things that are going to come up. Okay. Now, you are most likely to identify with Cancer, the sign, personally, if you were born with the sun, moon, or ascendant in the sign Cancer, or with your sun or ascendant close to an aspect with the moon. You are born with a number of planets in the fourth house. Cancer energy resonates with you. You were born with the moon in the first, fourth, seventh, or 10th house. You're going to resonate with this video. Okay, so let's talk about the 3 decadents. Each zodiac sign has 3 decadents. They have 3 parts of Cancer. And the first decadent of Cancer is ruled by the moon. It is from July 22nd, the beginning, to July 1st, and it is from 0 to 9 degrees. Anything in 0 degrees is the most potent energy of the sign. Okay, so Cancer, of course, will be the ruler of moon during these degrees, and this makes for an extremely emotional and sensitive, compassionate person who nurtures and cares for those they love. This can, however, lead to never communicating their own emotional needs. People who are born during that time. The second decadent of Cancer, which is moi, is ruled by Pluto and is Scorpio decan, and that is insane because my moon is in Scorpio. So I all this is just, yes, that is July 2nd to July 11th, 10 degrees to 19 degrees in Cancer. These people are emotions are deep as the deepest ocean. Those emotions can be hard to access and express. These people can seem almost emotionless and their nature reserved. At times, they tend to feel very deeply that they are willing to do anything for those they love, and they also are very self-sacrificing for those who they love. The deafness of Scorpio can also make them possessive for those they love. They are amazing at listening and can hold space for those like no one else. They're very special people. Okay, the third decan of Cancer is ruled by Neptune and is the Pisces decan. And that is July 12th to the 21st or the 22nd. It really matters the degrees. Look in your chart. If you have a sun Cancer, any Cancer energy, you're dealing with the 20 to 29 degrees in Cancer. These are the most sensitive and gentle people you ever meet. They are very ethereal because you're dealing with that Pisces energy, and their moves shift in response to all those that are around them because they're feeling the energy. And so if the person is mean, they're mean. If the person is nice, they're nice. It's often hard to know what they are really feeling, and they themselves are not always aware. Like the first decadent, in that they are tireless when it comes to the ones that they care for and love. This decadent group needs to really create some strong boundaries. Okay, so Cancers overall. And I got a lot of information just on Cancers overall. Okay, so let's get started. Cancers overall are very home-loving, loyal. There's tenacity, persistence, loving, sharp judgment, cautious, protective, easy to understand, gentle, kind, sympathetic, a patient listener, attuned with their feelings, empathy for others, self-awareness, nurturing, traditional, family-orientated, fears, conflict, flight into the dream world, faint-hearted, social-minded, tender, protective, prepared to help, willing to help, unconscious impulses, sympathy, ambitious, holds memory, the womb of humanity, caring. Cancer's job is to mirror other people's behaviors. Cancers also have a private side. They strive for emotional safety and security. They love being alone, even though they are needy, but they love their alone time because they need to have time to reflect. You need other people around you to draw you out into the world and reflect back who you are because of the moon being your ruler. I can definitely resonate with that because when I have my friends, they get me out the house. I would just be a straight homebody without my friends or family. Sensitive to other people's feelings, you feel their pain and their happiness. It is hard for me personally to go to a funeral because I grieve like they grieve. So that is something. And when someone is extremely happy and they are so happy that they are crying, I feel exactly how they feel. As a Cancer, you are best at mothering or nurturing, or when you are encouraging other people, or growing plants, gardening, and personal projects to grow. Your emotions have powerful effect on others too. Cancers can be romantic, hence the saying, I love you from the moon and back. Cancers are very clingy, that crabness. They're going to hold on tight, but they have to learn to let go because some things need to be released, okay? For them to embrace the future. Cancers are always looking back in the past, and they need to stop that and look in the future. And I have a Sankofa tattoo on my arm. Hence, when I said earlier that I have a lot of Cancer tattoos, but I have a Cancer tattoo because I, in college, was so into history, and I love studying and learning about the past, which is very Cancer. Reoccurring behaviors, your mood may change due to the energies around you. Traditional when it comes to family. Cancer symbolizes the emotional security for feeling that one's environment will support one's existence and for feeling nurtured for those around them. Material possessions. Sometimes Cancer could buy a lot of things because they're really not addressing their feelings. Cancer patterns are essential to the social good for the humanity, meaning every group must have people who support them, and that is what Cancer brings, or nurture them, and takes care of the needy and reassure the insecure. In fact, today you have the breaking up of families and increasing state of the lack of care of the youth. And that is what Cancer energy is for. Now, we just left Gemini season. And so then you even think about like leaving the Gemini phase. And the Gemini is all about, it's more primitive functioning, and it's about the development of the individual, where Cancer is like, let's care for others. Cancers are made up of surging waves of emotions. They're very sensitive and caring. The cuddliest signs, they shift. The tides are like the ocean. They're always waiting, hence the moodiness. People who make you feel insecure, Cancers start to not be loyal to them. When you really care for someone, there is nothing anyone can say to that person. When someone makes you feel secure, you're hardcore loyal, okay? Your greatest impact is human relationships. You have an instinct for making others feel cared for and understood. Beneath your tough exterior, you are very sentimental and soft. You should not be judged on what you say, but what you do, because someone would say, let's do something caring, or, let's do this really caring thing. And your immediate action is no. But the truth is you end up always saying yes and actually really doing it. It's hard to deceive Cancers because Cancers are very spot on when it comes to the tiniest little nuances of behavior. You're almost very psychic and intuitive. I am very psychologically astute, and it is very natural. I was explaining this to a friend, for me to understand how people are psychologically with just small conversations with them or just being with them. I understand their moods. I understand if they're stressed. I understand if they're worried. I understand if they're happy. I feel it right away, and it's just I can't teach it. It's just natural within me. Conversations are very conservative in our approach, Cancers. You are you can quickly gauge public's taste and opinion, and you can sense new trends in making. That is very me. I have a twin brother. We're both like that. We know what the trend is, and I pick it up quickly. Also, on the mark when judging people, Cancers are very good with that. Cancer is called a money sign because they have the ability to attract wealth. And if you Google, who's the richest zodiac sign, Cancer. Who makes the most money in the zodiac? Cancers. Cancers, because they want stability and they care about security. So, and Cancers too, usually the sun signs, when they go to work, all they thinking about, the goal is money. Okay, I'm going, how much do I get paid today? When do I get paid? That's just the goal, okay? Cancer's mind is at its best when allowed to work instinctively. And this should be most useful when making decisions, as there is no need for procrastination when you're going off your gut, Cancers. Cancers have the need to protect the self, the self and the family and any threat for the family. Cancers are hardcore. Cancers are receptive, sensitive, imaginative, sympathetic, kind, emotional, possessive, shrewd, and intuitive. Also, too, during Cancer season and any type of Cancer energy, if you're feeling a certain way, you might be successful being near a close, large body of water. And yes, I didn't say really anything negative about Cancers yet, but here's the negative parts, right? The shadow side. Everything has an yin and a yang. Cancer shadow side is that they're oversensitive, they're complex, they're fragile, they're moody, they're unpredictable, very temperamental. Money spells security, yet no matter how much wealth they accumulate, they never feel secure. Cancers never feel like they get enough of love. That's the same as the money. They're nervous of upsetting others because they are so sensitive. Cancers take a direct approach because they're afraid to they never take a direct approach because of that crab, like the way it moves. They worry, there's depression, exaggerated ambitions, silent brooder. They are cautious about revealing too much of themselves because they're guarded, and they also guard their secrets. If offended, they don't strike back directly. They soak alone, okay? In retaliation, may wallow in self-pity. They have a real blind spot when it comes to people they love. They can't see anything negative. They stay in touch with people from their past, old friends, exes. Anyone that's probably not good to deal with, they just don't release them. They need to let them go. Cancers need constant support and encouragement. They're never like really sure of themselves. They're always like, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I get this? Geminis, you think that they're like that. They're just indecisive, where Cancers are just like not secure enough in the answer, even though they know the answer is yes. They are the soul of cautious, but they're also courageous. Cancers are like oxymoron, right? They are like, they're just a series of contradictions, okay? So they're cautious, but then they're courageous. They're into security, but then they love a new adventure. So that is how they are. They often go out their way to help people. They like to be seen as someone who is kind and not judgmental. Their nurture is to hold on tight, and they can find it hard to let go of emotions like resentment and guilt. They put other people before themselves, especially when it comes to their emotional needs. Sometimes they use other people as an excuse not to live their own life. Cancers have a martyr complex. Cancers long to be free from all responsibilities. That's what they wish inside, but they don't let their freak fly, okay? Cancers have to learn that their happiness and security comes within. So clinging to ideas and the past, they have to let it go. They repeat what people say mechanically, never takes a straight path, always go indirectly when achieving their goals, especially if you got a Mars in Cancer. And a lot of things also refer to Mercury in Cancer too, right? Cancer fears are based on the fact that they have difficulty in trusting people. That is very Mercury in Cancer, but it could be also a Cancer sign. I am like that. I don't trust the world and the universe, not in a loving way. Well, yes, you could say that, but not in, well, let me just explain. Like if someone says, oh, we're giving this to you for free, I'm always like, what? No, nothing's for free. So there's always that lingering over, but they're still nurturing and selfless. And they tend to, also they hoard things, Cancer. So if you see the hoarders, that's really Cancer energy, especially things that are very sentimental. They hold on to it, and it's just sometimes unnecessary. The danger is that Cancers are susceptible to accidents in home, and they are more prone to being victims of theft. Okay, so let's talk about Cancer men. Cancer men are known to being the players, okay? Every time I talk to people about Cancers, they always talk about Cancer men ain't... Okay, I don't, agree, but this is what they say. Cancer men in the zodiac are normally the Prince Charming of the zodiac. They're self-professed, perfect, gentlemen, clean-cut and polite, tailor-made to certain requirements for someone who is a woman who is a traditionally minded woman. They are like, oh, I love Cancer men. They're artistic. They gravitate towards career, which are helping their spirit of sensory being very imaginative work for them in any type of career. So like if they're in finance, for some reason, they're still going to use their imagination and creativity to help with that finances. Now, Cancer men's sex is an act of worship whereby he gives himself utterly to a woman, investing in his every emotion. Wow. Okay. He prizes himself on being the model boyfriend, husband, and lover. No guy is more a family man than a Cancer. Yeah, and a Taurus. I would say that too. He could be overly needy in relationships. He can be reclusive. Now let's talk about Cancer women, which is me. Okay. Tread lightly. Cancers are known for the pearl. Okay. We are not the player. We are the pearl. We are not like these men out here cheating, these Cancer men cheating. No. Now, also, too, I just want to say that I personally, from my experience of collecting data of astrology and zodiac signs, I find that the men carry the sun signs stronger than the women carrying the moon signs. Because I have a twin brother. This is what I see. Cancer women are more the most emotional people of the zodiac. They wear their emotions on their sleeve. They're consumed by their sentiments. Cancer women go by their gut and instincts. With other women, Cancers tend to play mother hen. They are the nurturer of the group. They can be overly emotional. Typically, they have mother issues. Not all Cancer people, but this is just general, okay? Or suffer from psychological abuse, may act out and rebellious in promiscuous ways, may have difficulty establishing boundaries with their friends and romantic partners. So Cancer women are just really, they love tradition, they love being a mother, they love being married, they love their home, okay? Usually that's what you get with Cancer energy. Oh, also loves to cook, also loves to garden. I have a book club, and Cancers love books too. I have a book club that I'm in, and the Cancer women, there's like more Cancer women in this book club than any other zodiac sign. And when you go to their house, there are pictures of their family and kids all through the house. And every time I say, what are you doing for your birthday? What are you doing for your birthday? We're always with our kids. We want to be with our family. That is like a big deal for Cancers. Now, Cancer woman. Now, how can you spot a Cancer? Now, usually this goes for Cancer rising. This could also go with Venus in Cancer, because you're not the physical part, but when you're talking about the way they dress, that is Venus in Cancer. Also, Cancer suns could look like this, and Cancer moon. I know a Cancer moon, and he has some of these traits. So there's 3 facial types for Cancer's face. The face one is a large head, high cheekbones, prominent brows, small eyes, and are far apart. The second face is a face that is round, like a moon, right? And soft skin, wide mouth, and charming grin. Eyes are usually round as well. Now, the third face combination is the 2 above, but distinctly with strong cheekbones. Now, I definitely... I don't know. Do I have strong cheekbones? People tell me that all the time. A lot of Cancers have a sweet and very person next door kind of vibe. Oh, and also they have a very comforting face. While you might complain about their chronic baby face, because Cancers don't like the fact that some of them have baby face, their round face always gets strangers to really be open to what they are. Very emotional, expressive faces too, because you're dealing with emotions. They have a gentle way about them that makes people trust them. They have a soft, bright, round eyes. They have soft, bright, round eyes. Cancers are soft with their physical features, with the round face. Even their bodies are kind of full. The top bodies are full. Their breasts, their chest are usually full. That's what I find with Cancer risings, Cancer placements. Despite looking soft, they are strong. Like, they look like they're great huggers, especially the men. But their eyes have depth with them, and they kind of sparkle. Baby face, trusting eyes, high cheekbones, delicate nose, and her nose is usually small. The jawbone is very prominent, but in an attractive way. Their emotions show up in their lips. So like, if they're happy, they're smiling from ear to ear. If they have full lips, You play with them a lot. Your anxieties, and like if you're a Cancer and you have full lips, you probably play with them a lot. And then like if you have anxiety or worries, you probably bite your lip a lot. I bite my lip a lot, and it probably started off with anxiety and worry, but now it's just like my go-to when I'm bored. So yes, also too, Cancer women kind of like bite their lip when they're flirty. Oh yeah, or you can just bite your lip when you're thinking, that's what happens to me. Reflection is the shimmering of the water. So Cancer, like their complexion is very like bright white, light and glowy. Their hair tends to be soft, natural curls, like very flowy like the water. Their physique is sturdy and rooted, sometimes stout, kind of short in height. Their voices are very soft and reassuring. And could be like a monotone when talking to strangers because they only want to deal with people they're familiar with. Again, Cancer rules the breast and the stomach. So the women usually have large breasts and the men usually have big chests. Cancer rules the 4th house, which is about home and family. And so a lot of Cancers look just like their mom or their family members, like hardcore look like them. They also may wear glasses because they're nearsighted. And Cancer men usually have like sparse facial hair. It's not usually full. And if it is full, it's really covering that baby face that they have. They look great in white clothes and light clothes and iridescent clothes because you're the moon and you're shining and it's like silvery. So they love that. Cancer, Venus in Cancer, they usually like thrift, vintage, love that crap. They dress in that all the time. What else? The crab wardrobes is bound with a spectrum of colors because also they're very moody. So you have that. But like Pamela Anderson, she wore white. And it was another celebrity, Lisa Ray. She wears a lot of white. And I was wondering if she had Cancer or something in the 4th house. But flea markets, vintage, thrift stores. Usually when you have a Venus in Cancer or you really dress like Cancer energy, that's where you're shopping. Also, Cancers love cardigans and sweaters and hoodies. And I have a million of these. And I love to be cozy and warm and cuddly because that's what they have. Now, what people think about Cancers, they think that Cancers are the den mother of the group. And they think that Cancers are always willing to make them happy and fix their problems, and they care about their well-being, and they go to them for counsel, and they're good listeners. But then they think that they're moody, crabby. We think you're a good worker too, because Cancers seem to be responsible, good with work. Now, if you want to buy a Cancer a gift, these are the things that I would suggest. Okay, a waterproof mascara, because they're crying. Okay. Anything that's dealing with cozy, like a cozy robe, quality, cozy, soft robe, quality, soft, anything to cuddle. If you're buying a kid something like a soft teddy bear to cuddle, something that says cuddle, like it's meant for cuddling. A throw, they love a throw. Anything that's like a keepsake box, like for them to keep their past sentimental things, novels, classic music, anything vintage, right? Or something that is representing vintage. Like I have a record player and I collect records, so that's like vintage. That's very Cancer. Or like if it's someone who's in photography and they're a Cancer, a vintage camera. They probably already have them now because that is something they're into. So anything vintage in the hobbies that they like is very Cancer. And also a book that they're into. So like if they're a gardener, a book about gardening, or like if it's a book about gardening for your family. Dead on for Cancers. Also cooking, Cancers like cooking. So a cookbook, right? Or cooking for your family, or like a book that can hold their mom's recipes because they're into that family lineage. Do you see here? You see how I'm connecting the dots for you? Family photo session. Anything dealing with the family. A cooking class, a gardening class, an old heirloom. Also, those are great gifts. Oh, also anything dealing with a bathtub because they love water. So anything with making them comfortable in the bathtub is what they will really love. So let's talk about some Cancer celebrities. We have Princess Diana, Solange Knowles, the Dalai Lama, her, Tom Cruise, Kevin Hart, Selena Gomez, Ariana Grande, Khloe Kardashian, Lana Del Rey, Meryl Streep, Little Kim, Tom Hanks, Bill Cosby, Lena Horne, Jessica Simpson, Mike Tyson, Robin Williams, Pop Smoke, he passed, Forrest Whitaker, Danny Glover, Oscar De La Renta, he passed. Ernest Hemingway, we know. Montel Williams, Elon Musk, Fantasia, Pamela Anderson, Nelson Mandela, Prince, William, Lonnie Love, Omar Epps, Lindsay Lohan, Liv Tyler, Mel Brooks, 50 Cent, Will Ferrell, Tia and Tamara, makes me think of the Doja Cat song, Sofia Vergara, Lisa Rinna, and I think, I know there are other cancers in that Beverly Housewives series. What is it called? Group or whatever, cast. And I know the girl, It's Expensive to Be Me, is a Cancer, and Dorit is a Cancer. There are probably some more Cancers in there. I'm not sure. Selma Blair, Ida B. Wells, Cindy Lauper, Lisa Leslie, the basketball player, Harrison Ford, George Orwell, the author, Frida Kahlo, love her. Missy Elliott, Wendy Williams, Lindsay Lohan, Post Malone, Jaden Smith, Keith Sweat, and Lala Anthony. So that is everything, Cancer. I hope you enjoyed. I will put the Cancer quote up now. This is the Cancer quote. And yes, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.